Now, South Africa's beer market is amongst the most contested in the emerging world, and the 2010 FIFA Soccer World Cup presents both opportunities and challenges to the country's leading brewers. Now, joining us more for an insight into South Africa's competitive beer market is Norman Reynecke, the Corporate Relations Director at Brandhouse Beverages. Now, just to start off with now, just to tell the viewers, you do brands like Amstel and Heineken. Just give us an insight. There's been figures out saying that beer consumption during the World Cup is going to increase by 6%. Do you think that's taking it a bit too far?
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. I think the numbers are definitely appropriate. I think during the World Cup, beer sales will increase across all the segments within beer. One of the key insights for me is going to be that South Africans love beer. They love premium beer, and consumers will look for the choice that they prefer.
How much competition is there likely to be among the big brands in this World Cup?
I think competition will be significant, as it normally is. The World Cup's not unique in that regard. Competition is present all the time. The way I think suppliers, marketers will deal with this is to make sure their offerings are presented in the right way, in the right areas, in the right occasions. I think the World Cup presents a wonderful opportunity for South Africa to celebrate a really, really big occasion. So you'll find things like fan parks, the normal bars, home consumptions, braais. The weekends will really come to life, and people, again, particularly consumers and also our customers, will be looking to offer consumers something that's relative to the needs they're seeking to satisfy.
And also there's the added complication in this story in the fact that some of the beer producers in South Africa have these exclusive deals where only they can supply certain areas around the World Cup.
Certainly that exists in particular areas, but in most times and most occasions, consumers can access what they're looking for. Certainly what happens is, as South Africa has been growing wonderfully in the past 10 years, it has been increasingly competitive for existing players to exert their position. What Brandhouse is offering through its shareholders is, again, lots of choice to consumers in different formats, different sizes, different tastes that appeal to consumers. And South African consumers have been limited for many, many years in choices they could make. And up until recently, Brandhouse has offered fantastic innovation, particularly during this time. Even though we've had a recession, we've had wonderful growth and significant market share increases, which suggest that consumers are really buying into the offerings we are proposing to them.
What about competition? I mean, obviously not only from wine, but what about all these new sort of drinks and different types of hooches that are coming out now that are being heavily marketed? How much competition is it for the traditional beer drinker?
Oh, it's extremely stiff competition. I mean, if you were an existing player more than 10 years ago, your position would be seriously challenged with new offerings. And you're right, it appears across all categories, not just beer. So in the RTD category, in the spirits, in whiskey, in vodka, in rum. What's interesting is you've got new offerings in terms of innovation. You also have renovation. So offerings that combine things that consumers would prefer to mix with. And these are relatively new to consumers. South Africa has been restricted in what it could offer consumers. And companies like Brandhouse have offered significant innovation again, which consumers are looking for. Our middle class has grown wonderfully again, and they are taking up these offers. They are telling us directly, saying, please offer us more. We are hungry for new things, we're keen, we're excited, and Brandhouse is well positioned to offer these new innovations to them.
Sasha Narskin, our analyst in the studio, bring you in there. I mean, from a financial point of view, how much competition is there between the big brands for this highly contested beer market?
Yeah, what you've seen globally, probably about half a decade ago, is a lot of the majors went into emerging markets and bought up assets what were seen as crazy prices. You know, I saw in breweries results, this is South African breweries, that perhaps some of the prices they paid won't pay off for quite a while because their EBITDA contribution from their Asian market isn't as big as you perhaps would think it to be. But I think it's a time will tell, because in places like India and China, beer consumption is still relatively low. I remember breweries put out a study a few years ago and suggested that each Indian person only drinks 3 beers per annum. Now that's, you know, even if you can double that to 6, you're doing really well. So there are obviously key challenges for them, but for the moment it looks like Latin America is their best market.
And just go back live to Cape Town now. How big is your share of the market? What's it worth? And how are you looking to increase it through this World Cup?
I don't have the exact numbers you may be seeking, but quite recently Nielsen suggested that we close to 12% of the premium beer market. I mean, 12% of the total beer market, which would include brands like Heineken, Amstel and Windhoek. Over the World Cup, I think, given the excitement and the extended period of this wonderful time in South Africa, I think beer sales will increase significantly, and I think the premium beer segment of the total beer market will enjoy most of the volume.
And just finally and briefly, what's the key to victory, you think, in this beer war?
Again, I think the ability for any organization to make the products available and easily accessible at the recommended selling prices, in the right formats, in the right quantities, and significantly, again, partnering with the right customers to make sure we support customers through this opportunity to increase their margin and value over a significant time.
Thank you very much, Norman Reynecke of Brandhouse, live just from Cape Town there on South Africa's beer wars in the upcoming World Cup.